Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Now if you're new here, please consider subscribing because this channel brings you content that is actually going to help you to elevate your business even further. So let's go into the question of why do we think people are quitting their jobs so much lately? So millions of employers are currently looking for employees, and we have seen very many people who are retiring very early. And this is not only like for the older people, but we also see people in the Gen Z bracket, and the baby boomers are also retiring very, very quickly. Now, that doesn't mean that people are sitting at home. Instead, people are actually taking on jobs that are actually fitting very well into their lifestyle. So from that, I can say that the social contract is changing drastically. We are seeing that the workers are the ones who are actually holding the pen right now. There's so many companies that are eager to hire new employees. However, people are very choosy with the jobs that they take. And the ones who are taking on jobs are taking on the opportunities that are actually going to allow them to be more flexible with their time, with their hours, and then also flexible enough to allow them to also take on multiple opportunities at the same time. There's also a category of people who have to balance, work, marriage, kids. It just gets very, very overwhelming, and now people want to have more control of their time to be able to juggle everything and still be able to have the jobs that they are doing without having so much pressure. And this is very challenging with the overly demanding maybe 9-to-5 jobs or 8-to-5, and some even want you to commit to having even more hours committed with your work. So people have also taken a liking to opportunities that will allow them to work virtually, and that will kind of like give them that flexibility to be able to work with their families, be able to handle their home life, but at the same time also be able to work on their passions or even take on multiple opportunities. So this shows that people are now taking value to the things that they can do. People now know their worth when it comes to the job, and they're no longer the ones begging for the work, but instead it's employers who are actually begging for workers. So there has been a very, very big shift. So as people are taking, so if you're considering like making a shift in your career just in the next few weeks, or just, it's a thought that has come up for you, I would like for you to consider a few things before you decide to actually quit. So one of them could be for you to actually make small changes at your work. For instance, you can decide to have a job crafting conversation with your manager, and this is basically to get you to have a conversation around maybe this is the work I'm doing, these are the things I don't really like about my job. I would like to have more flexibility with this. I would like to be able to go back to school as I am, still able to do my work. And that helps you to kind of negotiate and shape your job in the ways that you want. You will find that you will be more fulfilled. For instance, if you're a public relations officer and you feel like, okay, I would like to kind of venture out a little bit and become more creative, and you want to get into graphics, you want to get into filming, you want to get into content creation, that is something that can still benefit the company that you're working for. However, you're going to just craft the work that you do much more differently and still be very comfortable, while at the same time you're still able to do your job. So if it's the working hours that are a problem, that is also something that you can negotiate. You can consider having a contract that is lesser days in a week. So for instance, maybe 3 days in a week if that works for you. I have also seen people adjust their times to maybe working half a day or throughout the week, and that helps them to actually have flexibility to be able to venture into other things. And also for some people are able to take on, working physically, but also with the possibility of working virtually. So definitely be bold enough and approach your manager and have this conversation. So if you're feeling a little bit stuck, one of the other things that can actually help you out is to volunteer or just venture into a side hustle. And this is going to help you to cultivate a good amount of experience. So for instance, if you want to get more leadership skills, offer free leadership in a project or in a course, or for an organization that just needs maybe a team leader or something like that. And it's going to help you to enhance your skills as a leader that you will be able to use in your career elsewhere. So thirdly, if your job has a poor work-life balance and you feel like, okay, you know what, I can't, even with those two options that you've given me, I can't really wait any longer. The other thing for you is to just evaluate your financial situation, because before you quit and before you lose that sense of security, you need to make sure that you can be able to sustain yourself until the time when you can be able to get to your next job. One of the things I would advise is for you to actually get a job before you quit, But if you feel like, okay, I would like to quit, then you need to make sure that you have evaluated your finances, you have looked at your spending habits, what you need to utilize maybe for you, for your family, if you're an individual, just for yourself on a monthly basis, and be able to take care of that for like the next 6 months. If you can't do it by yourself for the next 6 months, and it might be quite a risk for you to actually make that jump right now, but you can evaluate that. And if you feel like, okay, you know what, I can be able to handle myself for this period as I'm able to look for another opportunity, then go for it. Then also, as you evaluate your finances, you need to make sure that the jobs that you're actually looking for are kind of like within the financial range that you are looking at. So let's say if you've been working at a job and you're getting $2,000 a month, and maybe probably your expenses are around like $1,500, you cannot be able to get a job that pays you less than $1,500 a month. You need to get something that pays you a little bit higher, because you also need to have like savings, and you also need to have a little bit of money for investments. So that time before you make your decision gives you a little bit of space to evaluate like what job you're going to take up, and then also what financial offers that you can be able to get. And at the end of the day, you can be able to pick the best financial offer and then move on to your next job. The other very, very important tip is to be able to move from your job on a good note. I know sometimes we've seen those memes where people just quit, and then there's a very dramatic thing that happens afterwards. But it's always nice just to leave on a good note, because you never know what happens. And if you're working in a field, there are very high chances that you're going to meet the same people you've been working with in your network, even when you get to a new job. So you want to leave on a good note. You still want to have the respect of your peers. You still want to have the respect of your boss to be able to recommend you also for other opportunities, and also to other people. So, just leave in a good spirit and try to avoid any drama before you leave. So I hope this information was really quite helpful for you if you're considering to make that jump and transition into a new space, or also to be able to stay in a space that you're working in, but in a much more positive and more flexible way. Thank you for watching this video, and it really helps a lot when you leave me a comment and a thumbs up on this video. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please make sure that you share it with your friends and your family, because I am sure they would love to hear this kind of information. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, and